Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I want to welcome you to the new and improved Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast. After many years of interviewing the best and brightest thought leaders around the world on my SiriusXM show, I am excited to now have those interviews available to people around the globe on this podcast. So many people would write us and say, I love what I've been hearing about your interviews with these great people. Where can I access them? I live in this country or that country, or I don't have access to that technology. How can I get the information? Well, I'm so excited now that we are able to offer the information and the interviews free on this podcast. So we want you to sit back and enjoy this message and let me know how you like them. And then do me a favor. If you like them, send a review, write a review and post it. And if you like it, hit like on here and share it and tell everybody you know about it, and then subscribe to this podcast so you'll get the alerts when we post a new interview episode. Thank you for listening and enjoy the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast.
Named one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world.
Inducted into the Speaker Hall of Fame.
Award-winning singer.
Best-selling author.
And now, here's Willie Jolley.
Well, folks, it's another great day, and I am grateful that you're here. I want to ask you a question. How does someone start in a little small town in Tennessee in a house that did not have indoor plumbing or didn't have running water on the inside, and grow and go to a point where that woman becomes one of the top speakers in America, Hall of Fame speaker, and then takes on the presidency of a direct sales organization and takes that company from about 200 million to over $1 billion. And she becomes iconically known for a quote, a simple quote that says, money is not everything, but it's right up there next to oxygen. That's right. My guest is the one and only Rita Davenport. Oh, you're going to want to stay around because she's going to give you pearls to help you win in your life. Hey, folks, you know, I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. It's forced upon me. I can't refuse it. I did not seek it. No, I did not choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer. If I lose it, give account. If I abuse it, just a tiny little minute, but our eternities are wrapped up in it. So I'm grateful for this minute, this moment, this opportunity to be on with all of you. And I want to thank each and every one of you for making time in your schedule to be part of this program. You make this program possible because you are why we do this. And I want to thank all of you who've told your friends, your family members, your co-workers to listen to the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways show or the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast. It's going to be life-changing. And so many people are listening and tuning in all over the globe. And then I want to thank our sponsor, Truist Bank, who have been such great partners. You know, there were 2 banks, BB&T and SunTrust, that were competing. They were fighting each other, and they decided to stop competing and start cooperating and helping each other. And it became one bank called Truist. And they have a simple premise that they are built on: care. When you start with care, you build a different kind of bank. Truist Bank. I want to thank them. And then I want to thank God. You know, I start every show taking a moment to give God some glory, thanking him for life and strength and health. Now, I know everybody doesn't believe like I believe. Everybody doesn't think like I think. Some don't believe at all, but that is not why I'm saying this, to try and convince or convert you. I am trying to let you know, whoever you are, wherever you are, that I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this show being on for 20 years. I'm grateful for being in the Speaker Hall of Fame and being a Cavett Award recipient. And I'm grateful for the best-selling books. But most of all, I'm grateful for life and strength and health. And I don't take it for granted. So I take a moment every show to thank God, to give him glory. You know, God's gift to you is life. Your gift to God is what you do with it. So do something extraordinary with that life. Well, let me tell you about my guest. My guest is a dear friend, and I am always just enamored when I'm in her presence because she's such an incredible, powerful person. Her name is Rita Davenport. She's in the Speaker Hall of Fame. She's been a whirlwind speaker. Well, before she was a speaker, she was a television show host for many years. She is an entrepreneur. She was raised in poverty, but her zest for life has taken her to heights amazing. She has best-selling books. She was mentioned in Success Magazine, not as a dope dealer, but as a hope dealer. She is a person who has built a successful venture outside of speaking as well as inside of speaking. She has had so many awards and recommendations and recognitions, but most of all, she is a person who I'm honored to call my friend, Rita Davenport. Welcome, Rita Davenport.
Hi, Willie. It's so good to see you. My goodness. And you know, when I think about you, you are truly a brother from another mother. I just
Amen.
know that.
Yes.
Such a connection.
Well, I gave him the thumbnail sketch. You were born in Tennessee. Is that correct? Outside of Nashville somewhere.
Yeah. Flat Rock, Tennessee.
What was that?
It's called Flat Rock, Tennessee. That was the poor part of Nashville.
The poor part of Nashville was Flat Rock, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And you had a house that you grew up in that didn't have running water or didn't have indoor plumbing. Am I right?
Not only that, but partially the part of the floor was just dirt in that house. And, you know, Willie, it was, I was always uncomfortable because I never let anybody come to my house because, you know, I was kind of ashamed. But it was my inspiration because I think that what doesn't shut you down fires you up. And it fired me up that I needed to make something out of myself, mainly for my family and help other people. I'm just so grateful that I was motivated. All my life, I've been motivated to do things like that.
What doesn't shut you down fires you up. And that's right. What you were fired up. Well, you went on, somehow you were able to go to college and then go on to.
I didn't have in fact, I was told by my counselor I wasn't college material. I was told not to go to college. She said, my advisor said, you're not college material, Rita. She said, find some nice boy and get married and have a family, but really just not college material. I really hadn't focused on academics in elementary or high school. And I was always a people person. Yes. I was always captain of the cheerleaders. I was a majorette. I was a color guard. I was a student government. And, you know, the classes, that was okay, but I just wasn't motivated to be an A student. And so I wasn't. But then when I got to college, everything changed. I really was determined to get through college and do it. And I'm so glad I did. So wonderful.
So you went on to be, I think you did social work for a short while.
Yes, I was a social worker. I was a home ec teacher, a social worker. I worked at Arizona Public Service. I would go around teaching people use and care of appliances, go to schools and things. I've had lots of different jobs. And then when I was at Arizona Public Service, I was on local TV, and then I was offered a TV job. And I had this idea. I did a local show that was called Open House. Then it was Phoenix at midday, and we had the news and everything. And then I got this idea, Cooking with Rita show. You know, I have a idea about food, and I tell people, if you cook, they will come. So that makes a big difference. If you cook, they will come. People do love home cooking. And I started a cooking show, and I had the idea for the Food Network. So I called the Meredith Corporation that owned our station, and they also owned Better Homes and Gardens. And I said, I've got this idea about doing a cooking show. I said, people eat 3 times a day. They don't have sex that much unless they're weird, newly married, or having an affair or something weird going on. But I said, they eat 3 times a day. And they just heard my corn-pone redneck accent. They probably thought, what does she know? But Jack Clifford at Channel 3, the general manager, watched my Cooking with Rita show every day. And the staff said, Rita, we thought he had a crush on you because we couldn't interrupt him when Cooking with Rita was on. And he started the Food Network, and we both got Broadcasters Awards together. I said, you know, Jack, I said, there's a book called Seed, Money, and Action, where you're supposed to give to your source of inspiration. And I said, I had that idea for the Food Network. And he said, I know, Rita, I should have given you something for that idea. He said, because I sold the Food Network, I think it was $300 million. Wow. And it's now worth $2 billion. So, Willie, I had a $2 billion idea, but because I'm very committed and loyal and, dedicated and supportive. My station said, no, I wasn't going to knock on another door, but that was a $2 billion mistake. But anyway, the Food Network is very popular and doing well, and I'm glad. And I've had 2 cookbooks that have done really well, too. I did a sourdough cookbook that was on Good Morning America and Today Show talking about sourdough. This is before sourdough became as popular as it now. It's really popular now, but it was fun. And then I did another Mexican cookbook. I love Mexican food, especially living in Arizona. We're around it a lot. And so those books have done good, and I'm very, very grateful. The number one step in prosperity is gratitude, as you well know, as you teach.
I want to take a moment on that, because you said that one time I was with you about the key to prosperity is gratitude.
Yeah, number one mental step and adjustment for prosperity is gratitude.
Say that one more time. Just one more time. I want people to hear that from your voice.
The number one mental step for prosperity is gratitude. Be grateful for what you've got and look forward to what you're going to get. But I am so grateful. Willie, just telling people how much they mean to you and how grateful you are for them. I was talking to John Teets, who was the president of Greyhound, about doing a speech. And when I got ready to hang up, I said, love you. He called me back. He said, excuse me, Miss Rita, did you say love you when you hung up the phone? And I said, yes, sir, I always say that. He said, well, I'm booking you for the speech. I've never had a speaker say that to me when they were hanging up, love you. And really, if anybody listening right now, say something nice to people wherever you go. And sometimes you might have to make it up a little bit. You say that color is great on you. Maybe it's not that great, but you're just saying something nice. If you knew, I was flying to Utah and I had a speech, and I never fly the same day that I speak, but I had to that day. And I said to the ticket agent going and getting on the plane, I said, oh, I love your haircut. Who does it? And those earrings. And I said, that color is so good on me. I was just being nice to her. I said, I have a speech in Utah. I said, I don't usually fly the same day I speak, but I said, that made an exception. And I said, I just hope everything goes well. And I have carry-on luggage. There's 2 kinds of luggage, carry-on and lost. So I get on the plane. And
Hold on. There are 2 types of luggage, carry-on and lost.
That's right.
Okay.
I carry on, Willie. I carry on because I can tell you some terrible times where I had to go to Walmart and buy clothes for a speech for 20,000 people because I checked my bag. So always carry on is much better. But anyway, so I'm on the plane and they make an announcement. They have technical problems. If there's technical problems, you want them on the ground for sure.
Right. That's correct. If there are technical issues, you want them while you're on the ground. That's right.
Here comes the ticket agent that I made those compliments to, and I was sincere about it. I thought her hair was cute. I loved her earrings, and she was just pretty. And always, I can tell you so many things, but I always tell people, hey, you look really good. It's amazing. Waiters and waitresses, and everywhere I go, I say, you're so beautiful. And the difference in people when you give them a compliment.
Yes.
So here comes the ticket agent, and she said, you got your bag up there, right? She said, I've got another flight for you. Well, she took me to another carrier. Of course, she was dating the pilot, I will say that. But she got me on another plane so I could get to Utah for the speech. And, if there's anything that I would like to share with y'all the most, is be nicer than necessary. Just be
nicer than necessary. Yeah. Absolutely. There's an article that you shared with me that says, be nicer than necessary. And it is true. I love this quote in here. It says, research proves that kindness is contagious. When someone experiences kindness, they are more likely to pay it forward, creating a chain reaction of goodwill. But here's the fascinating part. Being kind isn't just good for others. It's good for you. Acts of kindness release endorphins, improve mental health, and even lower blood pressure. The Dalai Lama perfectly captured this when he said, be kind whenever possible. But remember, it's always possible. Wow. That is great. Well, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back shortly with Rita Davenport. She's going to tell you her story, how she took a company from 200 million to over $1 billion, and how you can grow your wealth, your health, your prosperity, and your future. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. And for sure, the best is yet to come. We'll be right back.
You can call on me
When you need me,
call me. You can call on me.
call me.
You can call on me.
Pick up the phone. I'm so excited about the response to my new book, Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better. So many have said that the book has had a profound impact on their thinking. I wrote the book to teach others what I have been taught over the last 20 years, interviewing billionaire after billionaire. And most of those billionaires started with nothing. I want to offer you some of the most powerful chapters in the book as a gift. Go to richisgoodwealthyisbetter.com to read the free chapters so you can get on with growing your wealth. Get the free chapters at richisgoodwealthyisbetter.com. Hey, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and support for the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show and podcast comes from Truist Bank. When you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. When you become a homeowner, your future starts to feel different. That's power, knowing you could be creating generational wealth to pass down. Truist believes that a path to home ownership exists for you. I hear people say, well, I don't see how I could ever own a home. Truist has programs that could help you buy a home with a lower down payment than you might expect. And their professional guidance helps you build belief that home ownership is within reach. Connect with a Truist teammate to learn about options that are available to you. They will listen to your goals and follow through. Reach them by calling 855-562-1579. Do this for your family and your legacy. That number is 855-562-1579, or visit truist.com/homebuyer. That's truist.com/homebuyer. Certain programs and geographic restrictions may apply. Contact a loan officer for details. Truist Bank is an equal housing lender. And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show with my special guest. Her name is Rita Davenport. For those who are watching, I got a magazine with her on the front, and there's a whole section in this magazine about Rita Davenport. For those who don't know her, she is internationally recognized expert in the principles of success, time management, goal setting, creative thinking, self-esteem, confidence, and leadership. She has been featured in People Magazine, The Wall Street Journal, Success Magazine, People Magazine, Networking Times, Working at Home, other national business magazines. And she had hosted for many years a highly rated television program in Phoenix, which reached over 32 million households daily, and she has appeared on all the major national television shows. And she became president of Arbonne International, a personal care products company, in 1991. During her 20-year tenure, she increased sales and income significantly. Sales went over $1 billion from about 9 million, and she did that by just the strategies that she employed. And so she has been able to build a successful life, a successful family, and a successful business. And I want her to tell you some of the things she has done that you can do, because she is a personal development, professional development expert. She's done it for herself. She's done it for others. She's created millionaires, and we want her to share with you some of the things that she's done. Well, before I do that, though, I want to make sure everybody goes to winwithwillie.com, winwithwillie.com, get some of the resources we have there, and make sure that you check out all of the different websites that I have created for you so you can get something that will help you grow yourself and grow your wealth. Well, also, I am excited because Rita got a copy of my new book, Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better. And she took it to Tennessee with her recently and shared it with people there.
The person that has it just called me.
Say what?
The person in Tennessee, Calvin Leahy, who's very famous in that area, is an entrepreneur and an author, and he wanted to read it, and so it's still in Nashville. But anyway,
That's fine and dandy.
Playing and everything.
That's fine and dandy because you tell people your network is so vast. Well, how did you do all this that you've done? I mean, so give us some of the principles and things that you share with companies or people to help them grow themselves and grow their wealth.
Well, when I spoke for a company called Arbonne, it was 10 years old, and they were doing about $9 million a year. And they had never had an outside speaker, but I had done an infomercial, and one of the people in Arbonne Laura Fletcher, had asked the owner to bring me in to speak. And they did. And it was quite... I'm very grateful. Remember, I talked about gratitude, but they then asked me to come back, and all of a sudden I got very involved in it and helped the other people that were in the business that I would follow up with. And then I was asked to come back again, and then later on I was offered. I actually joined the company and built a business. My sister, who had an 8th grade education, got married at 14. She didn't have to, but because my mother had some mental issues and was abusive, my sister got married very early. So I told her to get in this business, and she said, I'm overweight. I have a space between my front teeth. Nobody's going to buy anything from me. And I said, every whale knows a minnow, and every minnow knows a whale. You may be a minnow in the network marketing world, but you know a whale. And I said, we can work on this. And my sister became extremely successful. She was the number one person in that company. And it would stagger you to know that cost $50 to join, and how much money she was making. It was phenomenal. So
I would just say it cost $50 for her to join, but because she was able to build a business, at one point she was making over 6 figures monthly. And so amazing. That's amazing. Well, go ahead.
When I joined the company as president, I was bringing in people like you and, oh my God, Zig Ziglar and name it.
Les Brown and others.
Because I was one of the founders of National Speakers Association. I had great contacts.
Right.
The people that were amazing. And the company did grow almost to $1 billion, which I was so grateful for. But to me, that was so good for anybody that, your social interaction really is so important. Always be as connected as you possibly can to other people. And I've done that all my life, and it's paid off. It really has. People are precious, and I teach people to give 3 hugs a day. You need 3 hugs a day just to keep from being weird. And this has been proven, by the way. It's good for you. And the reason you don't get 3 hugs a day is because you don't give them. If you give them, you get them. And always left to left, heart to heart. Remember, I've talked about this before too. But I just think being nicer than necessary, because people need you. They need your support, your encouragement, your example, and they need the hugs also. But to me, the most important part about success is who have you helped succeed. That to me is the most important part. I'm very grateful. I love going to church. I love going to Bible study. I got to interview Billy Graham, and I asked him once, I said, what's the most amazing things about life that you've seen? And he said, the brevity of it. It is a blink. It is so quick. And that's the reason we have to keep on doing the things that we need to do to make a difference, not just make a living. Amen. And anybody can do that.
Anybody can do that. Make a difference, not just make a living.
Yeah.
And then understand life is short. As we've all heard, life is short and unpredictable. Yes. So you must make a decision to live a life of significance. We were talking about this when I was visiting you not long ago. Let me say, she started in a home that didn't have indoor plumbing or indoor water, but she living in a home like I'd never seen a house this big on one story in my life. Phoenix has a lot of single story homes. They're not 2-3 stories going up. They go out. And boy, one wing of this house was like walking a football field. Then you come back and you walk to the other wing, and that's another whole big position. And so while we were there, I was just amazed. My wife and I were like, wow, what a house. What a house.
Well, that was just the guest house, Willie. I only took you to the guest. You haven't seen the big house. Well, the last party that I had from my former company that I worked with had 740 people in my house.
Wow. Yeah. 740 people in the house for a party.
Yeah, I
Wow.
learned that from Mary Kay. Used to have people come to her house. Mary Kay was on my show several times. She bought 50,000 copies of my book for
Wow.
her team members, and she was dear. I loved her and spoke for her many, many times. But I learned so much from other people. You do learn a lot, but she set that example too, to have people come to your house because they feel connected to you. Then they feel like
Right.
they're part of your family. You know, it's
Right,
important.
right. You know, while I was at her home, I got a call on my phone from Les Brown. And Les loves Rita. He loves her. And so I said, I got a surprise for you. I got to let you talk to a friend of yours. He was so overwhelmed that he got to talk to Rita. And he was the one who told me about that quote,
Yes.
that money is not everything, but it's right up there next to breathing.
Oxygen, yeah.
To oxygen. He would say breathing, but it's oxygen. Money isn't everything, but it's right up there next to oxygen. And it was such a profound quote. He would always quote Rita Davenport, as Rita Davenport says. And so while I was there, what she just said about being significant, making a difference, having an impact, I share with Les a quote that I shared recently on this show, but I'll share it again for those might have not have heard it. We must strive to live a life that outlives us and make a commitment that we only want to die once. See, everybody's going to die one day. Nobody get out of life alive, but make a commitment that you live a life of such significance that you only die once. In other words, your name will still live on in your children, your grandchildren, in your books, or in your impact, or your community, or your church, that your name will never stop being said 100 and 200 years from now. And that's when you die twice, when your name is stopped being said. So strive to only die once. And Rita has done that. Now, one of the books I really want to talk about is Make Time, Make Money. Isn't that one of the books? And what is that book? What's the premise of that book?
One of the first books I did, yes.
What is it?
Well, first of all, time is precious. It's very scarce too. You only have so much of it, and money's not important unless you don't have any. So, seriously. And so, I do teach time management. I teach goal setting. I really, because I live that life and I set goals and I taught other people to do it. And when I get feedback from people, it's just amazing to me. I mean, when you have somebody like Dolly Parton give you a compliment, and by the way, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but according to Dolly Parton, I am Jolene in her song. I'm the green-eyed Jolene. Nobody looks at my green eyes, they look at other parts, well, bless your heart. But anyway, when Dolly was on my local show, she told everybody that I was the real Jolene. I was the only girl that ever dated Carl Dean, her husband. And I told Dolly, I said, Dolly, we dated, but we never did anything, And she said, I know, Rita, I was his first, and I'm convinced that he was voted wittiest in our senior class, so we had a lot in common with humor. But Dolly, when she told this audience of 20,000 people that the real Jolene was in the audience, and I stood up. So now I'm not only Rita Davenport, but I'm Jolene, according to Dolly. She did the forward for my last book, by the way, and I adore her. She's an angel. She's more than an entertainer. She is truly an angel, things that she's done for so many people. But anyway, just wanted to tell you that that's my claim to fame.
Well, look, that book, Make Time, Make Money.
Making time, making money.
Making time, making money.
It teaches you organization, and then, of course, you can get it online for probably 10 cents. That's an old book. But it's not only organization, but then it's prosperity, what you can do to make more money than maybe you ever thought you could. Because to see someone like my sister, and you know what she was making. I mean,
right.
And that's got to be, that gives a lot of people confidence that they can do it too. If you want it bad enough, the world steps aside for the person that knows where they're going. You either lead, follow, or get out of the way. Right. So, I love to talk to people that want to have more and be more and do more and learn more and earn more so they can share more. Right. And because I have those ideas in me, and it's always been a part of my DNA. Make a difference. I mean, I love anything. I could go on for hours of simple ways that we can make somebody around us feel better.
We're going to do more of that in this next segment coming up. We're going to take a quick break for station identification. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. We'll be right back. Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I got an email from a gentleman in Australia who shared how he had been struggling in his business, and he bought some of my books and audios, and how it had a profound impact on his business, and he went from worst to first in his company. I shared with him how much I appreciated his note, but I told him those books, those audios, those videos were not just something that I just thought up one day and started to write. They were born out of my experiences, out of the challenges of overcoming the problems and the difficulties and how I was able to do it. And I shared with him that others have sent similar messages and that these resources work. I want to encourage you and invite you to go to my store. Go to wjspeaks.com/shop. wjspeaks.com/shop. Get some of the books. It only takes a minute to change your life. Or a setback is a setup for a comeback. Or turn setbacks into greenbacks. Or chicken soup for the soul. Or an attitude of excellence. Or the book I wrote with my wife after 34 years of being married and not having an argument in over 30 years. We wrote a book called Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. And now it is saving marriages all over the globe. Go to the store, get some of the audios, the videos, the books, the resources to help you have greater personal and professional success. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Make this a great day on purpose. And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way show and podcast around the country and around the world. If you're around the world and you're hearing this, I want you to take a moment, send me a quick email. Say, I'm in this country, that country, wherever you might be listening. I want to know you. I want to know where you are, and I want to stay connected to folks in other countries. I also want to take a moment to thank our friends at Truist Bank. I want to thank them for being my sponsor, my partner, and our committed part of our family here. They're a great partner, and they share something that we both believe in. That's the power of purpose and positivity. And that's when you know more, you can grow more. And Truist doesn't just talk the talk, they walk the walk. They serve their community and citizens and clients with knowledge and care about every step of the way. And that helps unlock incredible potential. Because when you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you become unstoppable. See what banking has for you and see what knowledge you can do at truist.com/unstoppable. Truist.com/unstoppable. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Well, my special guest is Rita Davenport, Hall of Fame speaker, one of the founding members of the National Speakers Association. She has just been phenomenal, the impact she's had, and she has inspired so many, encouraged so many, uplifted so many. And we want to take a moment to let her tell you some of the principles that she tells audiences on stage, because she is phenomenal on stage. In fact, where can people get in touch with you, get your book, get your resources? Where do people go?
I'm very available on Facebook and other things that I've worked on.
And I think your website is still RitaDavenport.com.
Yes,
RitaDavenport.com.
RitaDavenport.com. Yes, it's very easy to find. And, when I'm with you, Willie, though, I'm humbled by being with you because you're amazing.
Bless you.
What you have done for this world is phenomenal. And I know God is watching and you're giving him a good show. You really
Amen.
are.
Thank you.
You really are. And I'm so proud of you. I like to brag. You're my friend.
Amen. Well, it's mutual. It's mutual. It's mutual. It's mutual. So you and your husband been married for a long time.
Yeah. Well, we've been married, it'll be 60 years in July. We dated 6 years, and I told him I was pregnant. He said, we haven't had sex. And I said, that's what I read in the Bible that Joseph said to Mary. You never used that one before, have you? So you have to learn how to close sometime. You have to learn how to close the deal. And so anyway, I tried that one, but that was funny. He thought that was funny too. But I'm blessed. He worked with NASA, and you want to outmarry yourself. Went to Vanderbilt, and I as I said, I wasn't a straight A student. Did better in college, graduated with honors, but still, I got real serious about it. But I outmarried myself. You always want to outmarry yourself, and that's
Outmarry yourself. I love that quote. I outmarry myself. Oh,
Yeah.
also, you got to tell your joke about how you good in bed.
Oh, oh God! People ask me the secret of our marriage, man. It's so funny. It lasted so long, and I said, "Well, I'm good in bed. I go right to sleep. I don't snore. I don't grit my teeth. I have never wet the bed. I am good in bed. That's it."
Oh, that is hilarious. When she says that to me, it just it takes you off.
You just stop and think of it.
She starts with, I've been married 60 years because I'm good in bed. And then she says, and you wait for a moment. She said, I don't snore. I go right to sleep.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
You're funny. But humor is so important. The more
Yes.
you laugh, it's so therapeutic. What you were talking about earlier too but humor. I found out the more you make them laugh, the more they pay you. And I really have a lot of humor, and I have a lot of examples of the humor. But it's very therapeutic, and that's the reason we need to be around funny people, and we need to listen to people like Willie Jolley, and we need to be around the people that are making us laugh. And it's not only healthy, but it lifts you up. It gives you confidence when you're around people that make you laugh.
That's right.
So I love it.
That's exactly right.
Good medicine.
That's exactly right. Humor is good medicine, and it can help you. I think there's a study that says that if you are terminally ill, sometimes they recommend you get some comedic videos and watch them that you can have a real good laugh, because you have healing power in laughter. And so that's one of the things I encourage people to do. Well, how do you take this company? What did you do to inspire?
Well, first of all, I really got into bringing in people that knew what to do, that were successful. And, Les Brown, I mean, he was one of the best speakers. He's wonderful. But I brought in a lot of speakers, and it motivated people, it trained people, it taught people, it gave people hope, examples. And that's just the reason you need to be constantly studying. You need to be green and growing all the time, no matter what.
What was that? You need to be what?
Green and growing.
Green and
that means
growing.
you're alive. Green, like grass is green, it's alive. Green and growing. So you want to be green and growing all your life, always, because it's never too late to learn. And the more you learn, the more you earn. So
That's right. That's right.
Exactly
I think that what you just said is a profound point, because you said you brought in great speakers, and you said earlier in our conversation that you were one of the first professional speakers they had brought in.
I was the first.
So they did not know the power of bringing in professional speakers, and you showed them, hey, look, you brought me in, and let me bring in some of the people I know, people in my network who have helped other companies to grow. There is a science to this magic of growing yourself and growing your wealth. That is why they bring in speakers like you and Les Brown, and they used to bring in Zig Ziglar, or they bring me in, because we are experts in helping you grow yourself so you can grow your wealth. Am I right?
That's exactly right. The more you learn, the more you earn, no matter what. The more you learn. And so I'm constantly striving to learn more.
Yes.
And to be more, to have more, so you can share more.
That's right.
And the sharing part, Willie, it is the most important part. I've even put tips under a plate before at a restaurant, and they would call us, did you mean to leave that much money underneath the plate? Did you think you were paying for your meal underneath the plate? I said, no, but you just busted me in front of my husband. Now he knows how much I'm tipping when I'm putting money under the plate and hiding around, because he's very conservative, and so tight he unscrews his socks at night. But I like to give, and it's the best feeling in the world. It's so important, and make a difference. Not just if you can help somebody, and you know all that.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Now let's talk about goal setting, because you're an expert in helping people set goals. What are the things you tell people that they should do in setting powerful, empowering goals that can impact their lives? How should they do it? What's the process?
Well, first of all, the most simple thing I've taught people is write down your goals and put them on little note cards all over your house, in your car, or wherever, of what you are going to do. I am, not I want to, I hope to, I am. And you write down what it is you want. I am that person or that position or that am. That's so important. But goals, if you don't have a goal, you've got to have a predetermined idea directed toward a desired result. And that's what a goal is. And
say that again so people can write that down. A predetermined idea directed, go ahead.
Toward a predetermined idea directed toward a desired result. That is a goal.
Okay.
Predetermined idea. And a lot of people don't have them. You need to have at least 3 to 5 goals all the time that you're working on, whether it's to be healthier, whether it's to give more, whether it's to learn more or share, whatever it might be. But goals are so important, and to look at them and be reminded of what's important to you, because we get away from it sometimes, but you haven't written down in places. It's very strategic to do that. And there are many, many steps of what you can go through to decide what you want and then what you need to make a difference in. And
that's right. That's right. I in my book, Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better. And I'm very grateful for Pastor Jamal Bryant recently not only endorsed the book and said everybody needs to get this book, but then he preached his sermon on it because there's a chapter on goals. And I have a unique set of goals that I employ every year. The first goal I set every year is my giving goal. You just said it. What do you want to give? What's my giving goal? I set a goal of what I want to give. And then in order to give, I got to get. So I have a getting goal. And in order to get, I got to do. How many books must I write? How many speeches must I give? How many radio television programs must I produce? What must I do so I can get more, so I can give more? And finally, the last one, what must I become? What must I be? Who am the person that I want to be? And that if once I get to become a better person, I can get better results. So what must I got a being goal, a doing goal, a getting goal, and a giving goal is the top. I'm being so I can do, so I can get, so I can give. The other thing I like that you just said is make sure you have health as one of your top goals. Make sure you have health. In the book, Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better, I said there are 5 types of wealth. There's financial wealth, but the most important wealth is health wealth. That's right. What good is all the money if you're sick and can't enjoy it?
Yeah, Willie, your health is your wealth. That's right. The most important thing. And when I see people that don't take care of themselves, I mean, they've been gifted with life. Life is a gift. And I just can't imagine, abusing yourself. I had a producer that we were working on a syndicated show, and someone stole a lot of money from him. And I said, Earl, I just, this person was in drugs, one of his employees. And I said, how have you stayed away from drugs? And because that has never tempted me at all. And this was a profound thing that he said. He said, Rita, I've never done drugs because I would never turn my power over to something else to control me instead of me controlling it. And when you get into drugs, you lose control. I mean, just do. And I thought that was a powerful statement. I never turn my power over to something to control me instead of me controlling it.
I love that. I love that.
It would scare me to death to ever do. I would never do drugs. And so anyway, that's just one of the thoughts, an example of something that I heard somebody say one time.
I love a quote that Les just told Dee and I recently. He said this quote, I think it's so profound. He said, when you're born, you look like your parents. But when you get old, you look like the life you've lived. And if you live a hard life, you're going to look like you've lived a hard life. You've lived a good, healthy life. You tend to live a life that look like the life you've lived. I thought that was a profound quote. When you're born, you look like your parents. But when you get old,
that's perfect.
You look like the life you live. Wow. Well, folks, we're going to come back. We got one more segment with Rita Davenport. And I'm telling you, folks, you don't want to miss this. So stay tuned for more. And for sure, the best is yet to come. We'll be right back in a short while.
Motivated, highly motivated, Motivated, gonna take it to the top. Motivated, highly motivated. Motivated, I'm never gonna stop. I had a job I really hated. It made me sick, but it got me motivated. I knew that this was not where I was meant to be. I didn't want to stay, but I was too afraid to leave. Then one day I got my check, there was almost nothing there. I went to the boss, he laughed and said he didn't care. My kids were at home hungry, I was about to lose my home. That's when I decided I had to make it on my own. Said I, gonna take it to the top. I said oh yeah, said I'm never gonna stop. My friends said I was crazy when I told them all goodbye, but the only one who's crazy is the one who's afraid to try. They said I'd never make it, said
Hey, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, here to thank Truist Bank for their sponsorship of the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways show and podcast. Now, if you're a longtime Wealthy Ways listener, you know I believe that mindset is the key to success, and so does Truist. That's why they've created their incredible resource, Money and Mindset. It's full of tips to help you with your finances and help you with your well-being. You can get articles, quizzes, calculators, and hey, even more podcast information that will bless you, all for free and for anyone to use. Check it out today at truist.com/money and mindset. Truist.com/money and mindset. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care, and Truist Bank is a member FDIC, leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank. And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways show and podcast around the country, around the world. I'm grateful for all of you who have shared this with your friends and family. You have made this the number one self-help show in the country, and I'm grateful for it. I have a special guest today. Her name is Rita Davenport. Rita Davenport is a world-renowned speaker, author, as well as business woman. I have this magazine, and I have earmarked this magazine, all these pretty pictures of her and Dolly Parton, and the things she's been able to accomplish. She's a Speaker Hall of Fame member. She is one of the founding members of the National Speakers Association. She is someone who has built a business. She started with nothing. And she built a company that she took from about $9 million to almost $1 billion. About $1 billion. What are the principles you tell people to use in their daily life to grow themselves and grow their wealth? Because you have created wealth. I mean, I've been to your house. Okay, you created some wealth. Oh, tell them about the story about wearing two watches.
Well, yeah, when I speak, when I was doing an infomercial, they said, Rita's got to be exactly 47 minutes. Well, I didn't have any kind of timers or anything like you have in TV and stuff. And so one of the crew members had a Timex watch, and I said, son, can I wear that watch while I'm speaking? Because I can see when I'm at 47. Now, I wear a Rolex watch that I got a discount. I got a really good price on. But anyway,
that's what wealthy people do. They call it, Nito Cobain calls it extravagant, frugal extravagance. They get their extravagant gifts and cars at a good price. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, anyway, so I went out on the stage with two watches. And so I said to the audience, I said, I'm probably wondering why I'm wearing two watches. I said, well, this is probably a $49 Timex watch. And this one is a $75,000 platinum Rolex watch. And I wear it because I can see it. I wear the Timex because I can see the Timex. I wear the Rolex because you can see it, and that might get your attention. What has she done to earn that watch or something like that? It's the only reason I wear it, to tell you the truth. But anyway, that did help me get through it. So I told the audience, and I use that joke a lot. I really
That's
do.
a funny joke. When you said that, I've been telling my wife, I said, that was so hilarious. Well, you have been able to build people. That's one of the things you've been able to do is build people. And one of the secrets to success for any organization is to grow your people. Best way to grow your future is grow yourself. Best way to grow your organization is grow your people. Yeah. And the best way to grow your health, your wealth, and yourself is to start reading and listening to positive things and be around positive people.
Like you.
So, thank you. I like you, but I appreciate you say like me. Anyway, true. Okay. So let's assume you're coming to DC and you are giving a speech, and Dee and I come to hear you speak, and we holler and scream and we clap in the back with all the other folks, and they give you a standing ovation. After you sign books and you've taken pictures, we take you to lunch, and then we go to a university, one of the local universities, and go to a business class of young, hungry, wannabe entrepreneurs. Tell them some of your gotta. Young folks, here's some things you got to do if you want to be successful.
Well, first of all, you got to keep your ask in gear. Keep your ask in gear, not other word. Keep your ask in gear. You have not because you ask not.
Ooh, that's good. Ooh, that's good. That's good, Rita. Ooh, that's good.
It's so obvious.
Yes.
I mean, I've taught this to people, and people, they don't have the confidence. So if you don't have the confidence to keep your ask in gear, remember what I'm telling you, how important it is. And everyone you come in contact with, never forget this. They have a sign on them that says, "Make me feel important."
Yes.
Make me feel important. And you can do that. You can do that by giving people compliments, encouraging people, and just go out of your way to make people feel good about themselves. They'll never forget you, and they'll always be grateful when you understand that everybody has a sign, "Make me feel important," and you have that power. Anybody can do that. So,
right.
And then decide what you want. As I said, what you're willing to give up, set your priorities, and go to work. Work is a 4-letter word, by the way.
Yes.
And it's what you've got to do. And I have worked since I was 12 years old. I mean, I was driving a car at 14. I know I didn't have a license, but my mama couldn't drive, and we were impoverished. And so I was cleaning houses at 12 years old and doing other things that I could, babysit and things like that. But and again, I'll say this, my poverty was my gift, because I'm not just sat on my rear end and not made anything out of myself. But I looked around at my family and friends that needed help, and I thought, okay, I have this communication skill and I can make a difference with that. And the letters I get from people that tell me things that they learned, it's emotional, because you feel so grateful. And I just, and the social interaction, it is so important, y'all. Your net worth is your network.
That's
your
right.
net worth is your network. You've got to have a network, and you've got to be always, I just think that smiling as much as you possibly can and be glowing with confidence and belief. Your belief says it all. If it's as ye believeth, if you don't believe, you can succeed.
As you believe. As you believe. Right.
And, these are things that I've studied the Bible all my life, and I'm not a theologian, but the 10 Commandments are not just suggestions. I do know that. And, but, I'm humbled by what God has given me. Yes. And I want to be able to share it with other people. To whom much is given, much is expected.
That's right. That's right.
The best way to look at it. If you've been blessed, you're watching this today, to spend time with Dr. Willie Jolley. I mean, he is, I'm surprised he's not levitated when he's going around, because he's that amazing to be with, and what you learn from him just by his presence. And Dee, his wife's an angel. I mean, this person has made such a difference in our world that I could give him a standing ovation. By the way, I give a lot of standing ovations, and it makes a big difference to everybody. If you stand up, everybody else stands up too. But it just me, if you want it bad enough, the world steps aside for the person that knows where they're going. And,
yes.
and I've learned to be a leader because I knew people needed direction. needed an example. They needed encouragement. They needed to feel good about themselves. And if you, I have so many stories about telling people something positive about themselves and how it changed their life. Because they didn't have that confidence until somebody spotted something good about them. And it can be something very simple, or it can be, something great, large and everything. But it makes a difference. I think so.
I like this quote, a kindness and positive comments about others is like perfume.
Yes.
And when you spray some on somebody else, you can't help but get a little on yourself.
Yeah.
And so you spray it on other people, bless them, encourage them, inspire them, uplift them, and you will be better because of it.
That's right.
Well, where can people reach you, Rita Davenport? I mean, you got so much to say. You got so much that you can share. You're even though you are a woman who's been married 60 years, and so that means you're not a spring chicken. You're still kicking, though.
Well, let me tell you what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
I'm a stripper for blind people.
Say to do what?
That really gets people really positive. She tell the truth. Somebody at this age, they said, "What are you doing now?" I said, "Well, I'm an exotic dancer for people that can't see very well, and I charge extra for Braille." I've been getting a lot of gigs with it. I'm telling you, it's amazing. I hope you don't believe that.
I love it. I want to thank my guest. She is the one and only Rita Davenport, the woman who created the quote, "Money is not everything, but it's right up there next to oxygen."
Right.
And you've seen it in the Wall Street Journal and other places.
A full page, Willie. A full page in the
Wall Street Journal. That's right.
A full page in the Wall Street Journal.
Yep.
That's thanks to Les Brown. See, I mean, he's like dear friend. Like, I love you too. But Les is the reason that I got that gig. And I mean, what they pay you for something like that? It's really nice. Unbelievable.
Well, I want to thank Rita for that quote. I want to thank her for letting me say that quote in my book, and for sharing that book with her friends and family members. I got to go to speak at Audubon at some point because we got to make that happen because I want to talk about Rita Davenport.
They need to hear you.
And I want to inspire them. Well, I want to thank Rita. I want to thank her husband, who was so kind when I saw him in Phoenix not long ago. The two of them are just such a dynamic couple. I want to thank all of you who have made this show the #1 self-help show in the country. I want to thank Truist Bank for continuing to be a partner who sponsored this. And I want to thank them for what they're doing for our community around the world and around the country, that when you start with care, you build a different kind of bank. And then I want to thank and encourage everybody who has gotten the book, Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better. If you've gotten it, I want you to go to Amazon. If you bought it on Amazon, you can get a review there, a verified review. If you didn't, just continue to buy it at Willie. You can get it at winwithwillie.com, or you can get it at richisgoodwealthyisbetter.com, richisgoodwealthyisbetter.com. And then join us every Monday night. Every Monday night, Dee and I have a show online called The Jolley Marriage Show, and we want to encourage you to join us on A Jolley Marriage on Facebook, The Real Willie Jolley on Instagram, The Willie Jolley on LinkedIn Live, or you can see the replays on The Jolley Marriage Show on YouTube. We're Monday night at 9:00 Eastern Time, where we do a program for 30 minutes on helping you enrich and empower your relationship, taken from our book, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. And we've been married for 40 years, not quite 60 like them, but 40 years. And we're trying to help as many married couples as we can. Our goal was to save 1 million marriages and enhance 1 million marriages. So thank you, Rita Davenport. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Thank everybody for listening. And remember, folks, for sure, your best is yet to come. Have a great week on purpose. God bless you.
And everybody's life sometimes some rain's gonna fall, and everybody's house sometime trouble will fall. But when trouble stops by, you can sit there and cry, or you can make up your mind you're gonna stand up and fight. Hey, people, listen closely to the sound of my voice. Success in life is never due to chance but to choice.
hope you enjoyed this podcast episode, and I hope you got something of great value. And I hope that you were inspired, you were motivated, you were empowered, and you were encouraged to live your best life. I hope this information and this inspiration will help you to do more, be more, and to achieve more. That's the goal why I started this program, and I hope it helped you in a mighty way. Now, I ask you to make sure and that you take full advantage of all the resources that came through this program. I hope you go to wjspeaks.com/gift and get some of the free resources that we have there for you. I hope you go to wjspeaks.com/shop to get some of the books that we have created, that we've labored over to make sure that they will deliver a powerful message to you. I hope you go to williejolly.com/billionaire, williejolly.com/billionaire, or wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get the box that it will inspire your whole family, or get the bag of books. Make this a great day, a great week, a great month. And remember, it is true that you are blessed and all things are possible for them that believe. So make the most of the belief that you have now in your future. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Have a great day.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.